Hey, this is 6-volt Von Doom's Lab. This is going to be a quick spin release for Hook of the Reaper version 1.3.4C. So what am I doing in this quick release? Well, I kind of had a idea to make the light controller window, test light controller window better and to make it easier for people to code for the light controllers. Because, I find out a lot of people have problems coding for the light controller. Some of it is some people don't know how things work. You get output signals and they come in, and Hook of the Reaper reads it and does things on that. And people a lot of times don't even know what the output signals are or even know how to look for them or anything. So then, add that onto trying to program it with output signals. It's kind of like sometimes it can be a lot harder because you're like, well, what are the output signals? And so I was thinking of some of the things, and also kind of still being kind of new. I have a lot of assumptions. Well, when I first came in, I had a lot of like assumptions. Like, for example, I thought, oh yeah, the mass majority people know how to make memehooker INI game files. And then, of course, I found out no, it's not the majority, not even close. It's like a very probably small minority of people can write memehooker INI game files. So that kind of makes more sense why like very few people even want to learn how to do the default LG kind of style. Even though the people who do say it's very simple and easy to do, but so I'm still kind of like learning to see kind of where people are even at. So I thought a good thing to do is probably redo the test light controller window and make it better. So I did find some like small bugs going through it. So like for checking when you're doing that hook strip, it was checking the wrong range for the strip. So if you had 4 strips, that's going to be 0 to 3, but it was checking 0 to 4. So had that extra one on back of it. Then some of the things weren't the background updates weren't controlling great, and some other small stuff I can't remember, but that got totally kind of fixed. But what happened is I pretty much rewrote like 80% of the test light controller window. I wasn't expecting to do all that, but that's kind of how it worked out as I went through things and how I wanted to do them. It kind of turned into that, and also it made it a lot more efficient. So what kind of things did I do? So here I'll bring it up. So now if you go to test light controller windows, I move some stuff around. And now you can see, like, one of the things I took from, the light gun stuff is all the needed stuff is highlighted in red. So now you can see, like, time on, time off, number of flashes. These are all, like, highlighted. Then the data stuff is enabled too. As you can see, like stuff down here, it's all disabled. You can't do anything. So that's kind of one of the changes I did. So it would make it now, when you pick a command or a thing, it will select different things. As you go down through it, you can see it changing. So now it's easier to know what you should pick and what you should do for certain commands. And another thing I did is I put all the commands in. So if you remember, like I had just flash, like flash regular. I didn't have reload flash regular or death flash regular because all of them just do a flash. And the reload and death flashes just do a normal flash. It's kind of more, the flash regular is kind of tied to the output signal, like, but reload is tied to the ammo. Then you have to watch the ammo to know when a reload happens. And say, with death, you have to watch life to know, hey, when the player dies and comes back, kind of thing. So that's why I didn't put those in. But if you see now, if I go to here to regular, and if I go down to reload, you can see player number comes up because that needs player data, right? For reload, it needs player one ammo, or if you do it for the other players. And kind of the reason I did that is more to look for this. So now you can see down here you have a full command. So now if I go flash, put the group in, and run it, you can see down here now it actually displays the command in the settings. So you can see flash regular 500, 501. And if I change it, right, if I make it to 600 on and run it, now you can see, hey, it goes up to 600. So that's kind of a cool, little neat thing. Now is if you want to make a new command, you can just type in the things and just run it, and it will display this command. Then you can cut and paste and put it into, light gun, or not light gun, light controller game file. Then also I did a lot of testing because I had the Ultimarc and also I had the LED Hook strip in there too. So this works for both Ultimarc and LED Hook strip. Right, so now if I come here and run it for LED Hook strip, right, I have like weight down here. So I can run it, and again, it puts it down here. Then if I put the weight on there and run it again, now you can see that flipped over. Then if you come here too, now it has the player number in, and you can read it. I mean, you can do it again. You can see reload flash, and it has the player number in there. So if I change it to 4 now and run it, you can, I had the wrong one. That's weight. Here's the 4 right there. So if I change it back to 1, this 4 will go back to 1. So hopefully this will make it a little easier to know what settings are needed in the command. And also when you get everything together, you can then have the full command that you can cut and paste out of it, which is really nice. Then, well, can it do the opposite, right? Can I take a command out of a file, like example file, cut and paste it in there and have it show up? And the answer is yes, you can. So here's like an example, right? I'll do the random flash. And I'll cut and so now I go like that. So put it in, then I'll do the process it. So then it will process the command and redo all the settings. So you can see here, now it went to random flash and filled everything in. So one of the things is like, oh, maybe I want to try the second color with the probability of it. This is where you can have it like half the time do a second color for random flash. So you can come down here, when you enable this, you'll see these two come on. Then when you take it off, they go off and on. Kind of the same thing I did for light gun. So again, makes it easier to know exactly what you need. So then you can change the probability and change the color, right? Then now you can run it and it updates the command. Then if that's good for you, then you can cut and paste it back into the thing, or back into the file. So if I wanted to, like I said, add the second color with the probability, I could have done that, make sure everything's the way I want it to, then cut and paste it right back into the file and just remove the old command with the new command. So then it makes it a lot more easier. You don't have to look at the documentation and go, okay, what's this setting? Where's this setting? Or for the arguments, what's its placement? Now it's kind of a lot more all done kind of in the GUI kind of thing. You can just load it up, and like I said, everything will just load up. Then you know what things you can do. Then you can change the settings and then cut and paste it. So it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to, try to figure out all the settings, like I said, with the documentation. So that's kind of cool where you can now create a command any way you want. Then when you run it, it'll create the full command where you can cut and paste it. And also I did a lot of like things too where I had to do a lot of checking to make sure everything works. So for example, what if you forget this greater than here, right, which you don't really need, and see what happens if you process it. It actually says, oh, it just doesn't really need it, but it will put it back in there. So you can see, hey, it puts it in there already. Then what if you like go out of bounds, right? I know you can't have like 11,000 for time on, right? Well, it'll tell you, go, hey, time on is 10,000 or more. It can only be from 1 to 9,909. So then it'll kind of say, hey, this is having a problem. So it has a lot of error checking in it too to make sure, everything's good so you don't put anything bad in. Or if you miss some argument or something, it will say, hey, you missed something, right? If I take that out and process it and go, hey, arguments for that command is bad. So it was a lot of checking and all that. Then even if you like say, hey, I was on Ultimarc, and then I'll put a let hook strip command in, what will happen kind of thing. So let's do that, and as you can see, it actually changes it. It says, hey, do you have a let hook strip? And if so, then it'll just switch it over to the default or the first let hook strip in it. Then once it's switched over, then it puts in all the data. So you can see this is 150, 150, 75, 75, and flashes. So for this death flash, you're like, hey, maybe 5 is too much. Maybe I'll go to 3, right? Where you can go to 3. You can run the command, and now you can see 3 is there. And like you said, you can just cut and paste it. And this is why it's kind of more in the center, because if this is starting here, then you're trying to cut and paste to here. It's easier just to come here and select everything like that. And that's kind of why I put it in the center. So hopefully this will make it a lot easier for people to program for the light controllers now. Hopefully now it's more in the GUI format. It'll be a little more easier so people are not going through documentation and everything. Then the last thing is, I think finally I got the program icon all over to fully transparent now. I think it's a little weird how it's set up, and also I reworked the icon to make it better and transparent too. So, but that's it. That's why I just so it's just a quick spin just to get this out. I thought it was only going to take like a day to get this in, but then it turned out to like 3 or 4 days, and it was, like I said, a big rewrite of the whole test light controller. But I think that's why I'm also doing it as a quick spin, because I think just wanted to get it out so people can actually use it, because I know a lot of people are getting into the light hook strip, and a lot of other people have Ultimarc controllers too. But that's it. Thanks. Bye.